Hey, welcome back to my Sports Nation channel about this video. For defenders, Erling Haaland must have stood for dread for stadiums, pure excitement for soccer lovers all over the world hope. One might ponder how the path for this Norwegian whiz kid has found its way to being one among the successful in an industry of sport. Beyond highlights and screamer goals, this video delves into the mind habits and pathway to success of Erling Haaland. It must be accentuated that the achievement of Erling has not happened just like that. It was engineered, crafted, and wrestled for every other day. Erling was a true child of the moon, open to anything and everything. Erling Haaland, born July 21st, 2000 in Leeds, England, comes from a family shackled to the world of professional sports. He was thrown at an early age into elite sports. Alfie Haaland, his father played in the English Premier League, and his mother, Gry Marita Brout, was a national champion in heptathlon. Beyond just kicking the ball, Erling grew up learning discipline, resilience, and mental toughness to compete at the highest levels. But having said that, there was no question about the kid stepping on any fair ground by way of anything other than the concrete imprints of his birth. Little Erling worked his skills day and night, perfecting the ability not just to score a goal, but truly appreciate the game. He soon had the audacity to say that his objective was to become world famous for being the best footballer that has ever existed, not some dream of his, but rather his very own killing. From that moment on, any training day was treated by Haaland as the end of his world. While others might be enjoying their evening out with friends, he was perfecting his craft. Getting faster, getting better at finishing. His whole life was about getting better. He brought the grind, pushing harder than his coaches or teammates thought possible, and his uncompromising desire for improvement in every aspect of his life was unwavering. Everything was centered on performance, diet, sleep, and fitness. What people miss out on is the overemphasis on conditioning and strength training by Erling. He was not building a football player's body, he was building a killing machine to destroy defenders and scare defenses. Haaland's rise took another turn very early in his career. Signing for the Norwegian club Bryn FK, he did not make any immediate impact on the scene. In fact, he had his struggles during the early years, but that time was most significant. He learned to be patient and to take every failure as a stepping stone to success. Unlike many young stars, who allow a handful of setbacks to cripple them, Haaland fueled himself with them. From every missed opportunity came a lesson. Every defeat added to his hunger. His later moving on to Molde FK under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's guidance was another significant point in his career. He was molded by Solskjaer in the art of movement, getting his finishing powers in order, but he really learned the all-important instinct that is developed and nurtured at the highest level. And then everything clicked when he headed up for the Austrian side, Red Bull Salzburg. Not just played, dominated. The UEFA Champions League was his stage, and he announced his arrival with a brilliant performance and a debut hat-trick against Genk. Not just a teenage player on the rise, a force of nature. With blinding speed, Haaland redefined what a modern striker means, with a cold-blooded finishing and a dominating physical presence. Yet it is the same relentless work ethic that took him from the youth fields in Norway to the grandest arenas in the world that has always accompanied him behind every loud goal. But success doesn't move in a straight line. Moving to Borussia Dortmund meant a huge step up. A bigger club, a bigger stage, and much bigger expectations. Once again, Haaland stepped up to the challenge. Few knew at the time just how much pressure the stormy striker was playing in. With weeks of fierce rivalry within Europe over his signature, he made his debut just days later with a brace on his first appearance against Augsburg. From there, he went on to set records in Germany that many thought would never fall. This kind of pressure added flames instead of fear to Haaland. What separated Haaland from all others was his head. Fan speculation and media hype stood in the way of many young stars. Haaland remained steady. His focus lay internally, not on the praise or ire of others. The approach that is usually left out when talking about Haaland is his very serious dedication towards mental training. Not just muscle, rather he builds mindset. He does visualization techniques, indulges in meditation, and maintains a continuous positive attitude in the everyday routine. I visualize scoring before I step onto the pitch. I imagine lifting trophies. I visualize winning. This is how his mind is almost programmed to accept success as something that has happened, not something unfamiliar. Another significant ingredient in his explosive success is strategic decision-making. That now defines him for all major choices of his career planning with his team, especially with his late agent Mino Raiola and family. Instead of seeking the biggest paycheck at first, However, Haaland focused on the right atmosphere to mature to play every week and to learn the proper coaches. His move to Manchester City under Pep Guardiola wasn't just money, it was an absolute touch of timing and ambition. At City, Haaland was thriving under one of the greatest tactical minds in football and was with world-class teammates. He had already started evolving. Guardiola's system maximizes Haaland's strengths, quick transitions, clinical finishing, and devastating movement off the ball. Now, every time there is a record broken by Haaland in the Premier League, a defense is shredded apart in the Champions League, and trophies fill his arms, what we see is the result of years, hence, even decades of intentional living. Every training is one brick more in the empire he builds with career decisions and withdrawals from certain mind-shifting exercises. Perhaps it is this very attribute that makes Haaland truly special, his seeing success not as an end gift at the final moment. For him, it is a journey. He is never satisfied and speaks as if he were never tired of hunger for more in every interview. And that is the secret. Success is never final. It is constant evolution, perpetual ambition, and the relentless pursuit of great ones. Away from his pitch, he leads a rather simple life. Though the young boy is a celebrity, it has not at least caught his folly to the flashy lifestyle trap of an athlete. 100% preserved focus, football. Family recovery training and mental sharpness take up life for him. He knows maintaining the body, but understands that it is maintaining the mind that is very important. His love for this game is pure childhood, which converts into energy and enthusiasm every time he is on the pitch. So, how did Erling Haaland end up becoming a successful individual? Definitely was not born a superstar, but created himself to one. Through discipline, intelligent planning, sheer hard work, and iron-willed belief in his own capabilities, Haaland thus tells us that greatness is not all about talent. It is about making the decision each day to be better than what you were yesterday. It's about embracing the grind when there's nobody watching. It's about dreaming way bigger than most people would, and then having the heart to chase after those dreams with everything you've got. The life of Erling Haaland is not only about football. He gives the recipe for success in any field. Talent may break the door, but disciplined mindset and relentless action make one unstoppable. And if there has to be one thing that the world can learn from Haaland, it is that one does not await success. One builds it every single day.